Yeah, I mean, mistakes can happen on the run. I always tell everyone, you got 2 horses, 11 cows, 2 different riders. It's a lot of different eyes and brains and thought processes going on. So you get a lot of things that change, and they can instantly change.
You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
Welcome to The Ride, a podcast brought to you by Horse and Rider Magazine, hosted by Nicole Cherico. In each episode, we chat with some of the industry's top trainers, clinicians, horsekeeping experts, and professionals to share inspiring stories, training philosophies, and the importance of living your best Western horse life. This week's episode is brought to you by Purina. You know what it's like when folks get real loud over a horse in the heat of competition, cheering like it's overtime, because it's not just a horse, it's your obsession. And when your horse is your teammate, you'll do anything you can to make sure you both perform at your best. Purina, we've spent decades meticulously designing nutrition to help make sure your horse is at its best. Get the performance-proven, research-backed supplements your winner needs at purinamills.com/horseperformance.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to The Ride. My name is Emily Carey, and I'm so excited to be joined today by $500,000 rider, Cinch RSNC trainer, open rider, and producer, Mr. Joel Lesh. All right, so we are here, and Joel, you are the winningest ranch sorter, but can you talk a little bit about what ranch sorting is for folks who have no idea?
So ranch sorting is, they got 2 50 by 50 pens approximately, and they have a 12 to 14 foot gate opening. And the cattle there's 11 head of cows. They're numbered 0 through 9 with 1 blank. And you're given a number. Say you start with 3, and you would sort up 3, 4, 5, and then go all the way to 9 and start back at 0. And then based off of the time allowed, most of it is 60 seconds. You have 60 seconds to get them through the gate. No trash cow going through.
Yeah, and it's really a big test of the horse and rider partnership, being able to read cows and also being able to read your partner, because there's sometimes when you get stuck with a random partner and other times when you've been riding with your partner forever, right?
Yeah, I mean, mistakes can happen on the run. I always tell everyone, you got 2 horses, 11 cows, 2 different riders. It's a lot of different eyes and brains and thought processes going on. So you get a lot of things that change, and they can instantly change. Cow duck back on you, cow gets scared, he goes the other way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't expect the cows to do everything you want.
No. No, and the cow, it really depends on the arena and the horses, everything to go into that. How does someone get involved in ranch sorting? I know you essentially saw ranch sorting from the beginning. Started off doing team penning, sorting and roping, and then really saw ranch sorting evolve.
Yeah, so I was there more at the ground level when RSNC started. We'd already been doing a lot of 3-man. 2-man ranch sorting was coming into play more, and it's really kind of sailed the 2-man sorting to a really high level. For a new person coming in, though, you can on rsnc.us, it's the website. They got the show calendar. They are required to run a rookie or a beginner at every class, at every show. So you'll have a spot there for you to try it for the first time. A lot of beginners, they haven't even done it at a practice. I tell people to look for a practice. There's not always. There's a place to go that's local in the area. But you can normally find a show. It's nationwide. I mean, we got it in Brazil and Australia.
Yeah.
And now up in Canada is kind of pushing a big jump there also. So, I mean, RSNC is pretty much a global thing, and it's spreading bigger. You have you just go to the state where you live. Sometimes it might be across the state line, so look in the bordering states. There's pretty much somewhere to go for a sorting near you. And then also on top of that, RSNC does featured trainers, so you can find one in your area. I know most of them give lessons, and you can find a spot to go participate and learn the new sport. I know that me producing shows, we're really welcome to new riders, and almost every producer is, because every new rider you get means you have more participation coming in. So it's a flourishing thing, and it kind of works together. It's everyone calls the riding deal the sorting family, however you want to put it. It becomes a popular thing. There's groups, but they'll open arms to new people. If you're wanting experience, there's always someone there to give you some input, and have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love how you said that. It really is a family. I mean, right and short, the RSNC prides itself on being the most family-friendly organization out there, with classes for everyone.
Yeah, it's that. It's also the fastest growing family equine sport, because you can be anywhere from a 1 to a 9, and the whole family can ride together. There's classes for all of it. Just take me and my brothers. We're all open riders, but the significant others, they're different ratings. And then you got family. I got a nephew that sorted for the first time just a couple weeks ago, and he's 7. So, I mean, you have a different range, and there's opportunity to put them there. I mean, the beginner youth, we put adults with them, which, you see all the 7s, 8s, and 9s. They're riding with, a buddy's kid or whatever. But even if they don't know it, I had 2 kids walk up to me that I'd never met before the show, asked me for a ride in the beginner youth, and it's open for anyone. And a lot of times, if an upper rider is full in a class, they'll help you find someone. Yeah. It's all about, driving it. And, the trainers definitely know that, because every new person that walks in, you don't even have to be a new person. You can be doing it for 10 years, and if you want help at that point, you'll be able to get it.
Awesome. And I love how you said that, everyone around here helps each other.
Right.
At the World Finals, we've seen all of you, the open riders, riding and supporting these kids. But you also mentioned something like this 8-9 or 7-8-9 rating, or the 1 through 9 rating. What does that mean?
So there's really you have the rookie class, which is a 2. You have a beginner class, which is a 1. With gate holders helping them. They've actually started running more of a beginner class with 5 cows and a blank for introduction. It's not offered at all shows, but it's here at the World Finals. All the regional events put those on. I run the beginner with just the normal set of cows, but we run a gate person helping them. And then we have the rookie, where it can be anyone that you can have 2 2s ride together. 1s can ride up in it, but then if it's a ranch hand class, if someone's over a 2, so 3s to 9s, they can't do any of the sorting. So you got a beginner rating, which is a 1, a rookie rating, which is a 2. Your novice is just the 3s, because there's a whole lot of them, so it's in its own category by itself. 4, 5s, and 6s are grouped together in the amateur category, and then 7, 8s, and 9s would be your open, your experienced riders.
So you come in as a 1, as
Yep.
you get more experience, you climb through the ranks until eventually you become a 9.
Yeah.
Now, so let's talk about horsepower. Obviously, this is a super high adrenaline, high pace sport. You have to be able to read the cows. Both you and your horse have to be able to read the cows and understand what's going through the cattle's mind. What do you look for when you look for a horse? And I know you train a lot. You have a big barn, a lot of clients that you train for. What are you looking for in horses?
So most typical background that is used for a ranch sorting horse, I would say, is a cutter background. The cow horses have come in, and they're pretty well broke for it. And part of your horse level is also based off of your level as you're rated as you progress up, you're going to want a stronger horse. But that's part of the steps of coming into it. To start out, you can come on your horse that you ride and ride at home, ride in the pasture. There's I had two new ladies that came. I ran a show at my place the week before finals, and I did a clinic Friday night, which I offer those almost at every single one of my events. We do clinics on Friday to get exposure for new people. But I had two new ladies. They came. They'd done a lot of ranch work on their horses. They found that there was some spots that they needed to work on because it was different than the ranching part, but also learned that they have some skills and they're going to work on their horses. Probably the toughest thing for newer riders and a newer horse is the gait. Mm-hmm. And that's where the cutters tend to come in real handy because they have that cow instinct to move with the cow. So you can be on any level of horse and any type of horse to get started, and you'll see what characteristics you want for your next horse. I tell a lot of people, don't get in a hurry buying that first horse. Keep working on where you're at, because you, as a rider, will also change and adapt as you're going through it. So with that adapting part of figuring out what you want in a sorting horse, as you go from a beginner to a 2, you're going to be starting one to hold the gate as a number 2, and you're going to work on those skills to make to move up to a 3. I tell everyone, practice on your horse, spend time on your horse. You can't guide your horse if you don't know how to give it direction. So you got to work with them on that. And then we have levels of horses that would go back to cutting. People have horses that have won 50, 60, 100,000 in other events, and they bring them over and make very good horses in our industry.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So start with where you're at and go up from there.
Yeah.
Do you have any go-to drills or training things that you do when you're starting horses for cutting, or not for cutting?
For sorting? Yeah,
Sorting,
so
yeah.
if I get a new horse from the sorting to start in sorting that comes out of the cutting pen or the cow horse pen, I spend a lot of time working them back and forth across the date, doing rollbacks, full extension all the way across. I tell people you can even practice that at home, because I know you got somewhere where there's some dirt and you can set 2 panels up and spread them out. I tell everyone, don't make it a 12-foot gate though, make it a 16. Teach your horse to make them bigger jumps across there, and it'll make you more successful whenever you come to a show. But a lot of cutters don't have as much handle as preferred. We're kind of a hands-on sport. I believe that we've evolved a lot. We've upped horsepower in this industry, and it's nice to see. But you have novices now riding open level horses, which is going to improve them faster. The biggest thing I tell them is you need to make sure you're taking a lot of instruction to keep it where you're improving yourself, but not bringing the horse back as far. But in that training technique, I keep a full barn of horses. We work cows 4 or 5 days a week. Do
you have any advice for someone who really wants to get into this, but the horse is terrified of cattle? Doesn't come from a cattle background.
Yeah,
any advice to get a horse onto cattle?
So if a horse is scared of cows, you can try different things. I'll tell you, trying to beat one to do this, to work a cow, is never going to work out well for you. Horses are built for specific things, and some of them just aren't going to always fit that spot. You're going to become frustrated. And I tell most people, if they're able, after you've kind of passed that practice stage and you're into competing and feeling more comfortable, you do want to progress into that next horse if the horse that you have is not really experienced at it, because your horse can teach you. But you definitely don't want to be on like a green horse. I tell a lot of, I got asked this yesterday that, they thought they were, a lower rated rider, thought they were going to be able to train their horse. What do they need to do to accelerate that horse? And I told them getting help with that.
Yeah.
Whether it's taking a clinic or some lessons with somebody. If you don't want to send it to the trainer, then you and the horse both go to someone with experience to help improve you in that. It's a fast-paced sport, so I mean, as you graduate into it, like the level's going to go up. But if it's you just work with the horse. I mean, like I tell everyone, it takes at least 6 months to train one, and really it's longer than that. But you can get a very well broke horse that has cow sense to it. You can get them started pretty good in 6 months.
Yeah.
Where they're ready to move on to the next person.
Yeah, and then, like you said, never hurts to ask for help. I mean, there's so many
Yes.
people who want to help, who want to grow this sport.
Yeah.
Where are you located?
I'm in Stillwater, Oklahoma at the Lazy J Arena. Do training, do clinics, produce shows, and working on improving is probably a daily thing. We keep somewhere around 30 to 35 horses all the time, and that keeps you busy. So, but progression. The other thing a lot of people don't pay attention to is overriding their horse. You got a good horse and you're pushing it to the limit every run. Make sure you're not burning it out, because the gate work is stressful on them. As stressful as it is on the rider, your hands and your feet are doing that to your horse. So remember, be kind, and the only person that can pay attention to your horse is you. So they can't talk, but they're going to give you things that show their limit.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's great advice, having to listen to your horse. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us and talking about ranch sorting. Do you have anything else you want to add before we call it?
No, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks.
This week's episode is brought to you by Purina. Thank you guys for tuning into the Ride podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and please be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow Horse and Rider Magazine on social media and find us at horseandrider.com to see all the cool things that we're up to. And if you have any comments or questions, please be sure to hit us up at horseandrider@equinenetwork.com. We want to hear from you guys. And if you like what you're listening to, please be sure to leave us a review on iTunes.